Welcome here or welcome back if you are a subscriber. I recently put out a survey to my email list. One of the biggest things that came up was struggling to stay consistent with their lessons and with their homeschool. So I thought that I would share how I personally stay consistent. I do think that we're actually pretty good at this. Surprisingly actually, because I am not the most structured person there is, but what we do really works and we get homeschool done most days of the week, probably always actually. And so I thought I would share a few things that have really helped me, and hopefully in turn they will help you guys as well. Very quickly, if you find this video encouraging or helpful to you, I would really love for you to subscribe, like this video and share with your friends. And with that, let's get into the first thing that I think really helps me stay consistent. So the first thing that we do is homeschool year round. Now, the reason why I first started homeschooling year round is because I just found it easy. For example, I used to be a personal trainer, and so many of the women who I would train would work out 3 days a week. When I tried to do that schedule, it did not work out for me because most days were different and I wasn't having this consistent routine every single day. It was so hard for me to form a habit of working out. So I just always worked out most days of the week, except a weekend day where I would be busy anyway, so I wouldn't feel messy and muddled in my habits. So when it came to homeschooling, I guess that naturally I just applied that same principle, and I preferred to just homeschool every day of the week, most weeks of the year, unless we were sick or it's a holiday or we went away somewhere. That has really, really worked with us. I feel like because every week looks the same for us, we are just consistent. And I actually find that with my own children, when something is out of whack and we don't do a particular thing on the day that we usually do, my kids kind of start freaking out. They don't realize they are, but they don't know what to do. They're a lot more fussy and they're kind of just plodding around the house, not knowing what to do with themselves. And so I find that that consistent structure and routine, every day of the week, really helps our whole family stay in a good rhythm and routine. Each day for us does look a bit different. However, we have our time blocks that are the same every day. So for example, from 4:30 a.m. to around 7 a.m., that time block is specifically for me. It's for me to get my work done, to work out, to have my coffee and Bible time. That is me time. From 7 till 9 a.m., that is when we are all having breakfast, we're tidying up, we're getting ready for the day, and we do our morning time. Now, every day, our morning time does look a bit different. However, we're still doing morning time. And then we go into our lunch break. This is where the kids have free play. I will usually clean up the house, get some laundry done, and then we go into our afternoon blocks. That part has always been consistent. However, for the last 3 years, I have had to add on a new child that I am homeschooling. So every year for the past 4 years, I have had a new student join. I'm currently teaching a preschooler, a kindergartner, a year 1 and a year 2 student. And so it's kind of every year I need to relearn everything and figure out a new routine that gets everyone working seamlessly together, which has been quite difficult because I feel like a year isn't very long to really get the hang of things. Now, what I would do each year is I would actually start with my most important child, which was the eldest child. I would get all their work done, and then I would go to the next child and the next one and so forth. And so it was always the toddlers or the preschooler who was getting their work done last, which worked fine. However, on the days where things were just difficult, maybe we had to head out for some errands and so our lessons got pushed back a bit. If our kids are really grumpy and having tantrums, or if we're not feeling well, I just found that on those difficult days, the youngest or the younger 2 students, I would just not get to their work because in my mind, I would justify not having to homeschool them because I was burnt out from juggling life and my older students. I was tired, and it's very easy to justify why you don't need to get lessons done. When your kids are very young, and you have older students to like tend to. I was just consistently telling my preschooler, no, we're not doing school today, go play, go play. And what that did was that formed a lot of jealousy in him. He would get really angry because while I'm homeschooling 3 older kids, I had a toddler who was plodding around, but she doesn't really care. And so he's a 4-year-old and he's getting upset, you know, as he would be because he's feeling left out. First up, I got my eldest student. He's in year 2, he's only 7 years old. I was doing his math and language arts one-on-one with him. One of the best things I did to give me more time in my day is I switched to an online platform. We now use CTC Math, where he gets to do his math lesson entirely by himself. He hops online for 40 minutes, he does his math, he hops off, and I do not even need to be there at all. And that's 40 more minutes of my day that I get back to put into my other children. The second thing was, I now homeschool my youngest to oldest. And here's why it works. I have to get homeschool done for my older kids. I have to do math, reading, and language arts because they are at an age where they need to be doing school. Because of my personality, I know that it doesn't matter what time of day. There are so many times when it's been 7 p.m. and my kids are there reading to me or doing their math because I have to get it done, right? I'm already disciplined in that area. I was not disciplined in the area of homeschooling my kindergartner and my preschooler. And that is why I decided to put their lessons at the beginning of the day where I am fresh, I am usually in a much better mood, I am energized, I have my coffee, and this has been working so much better. So simply by switching the order of one-on-one work with my children from youngest to oldest, again, I am now consistent with homeschooling every single one of my students with ease. It's so much better. All right, this one is very easy and kind of like duh. Open and go curriculums. I found that a lot of beautiful curriculums that are very connection based and focused on beauty tend to have a lot of prep work. If it was me and I only had 2 kids, 100% I would definitely use those curriculums. When you have multiple children, open and go curriculums, in my opinion, are just the way to go. There is no prep work. You don't need to think about the lesson until you're physically sitting down there and opening the book with them. It might not satisfy that urge we get to have a beautiful, slow homeschool, but it does the job and it keeps us stress-free, which to me is a better payoff. I am not rigid at all. I do not feel the need to tick off every single lesson that I have planned for the day every single day. Some mornings my home is just trashed for whatever reason. Maybe we've had a lot of kids sports, a bit of sickness. If I'm having one of those weeks and my home is just stressing me out, I will just ditch our morning time lessons for that day and clean my house. I'll kick the kids outside, go play children, here's some snacks, and I will tidy my home. And then we will get into our foundation subjects, which are math, language arts, and reading. I do not feel the need to tick all the boxes anymore. That might be something that comes over time as you start juggling more children. The pressure that you feel, if you're feeling overwhelmed and stressed out and like you're behind, who is putting this pressure on you? Because it's most likely you and your own expectation. When you just learn to let go and surrender to the beautiful thing that is homeschooling, life is just so much more freeing and calm. While I am sharing all the things that have helped our homeschool stay consistent over the years, that doesn't necessarily mean that they will work for you. If you want to learn how to ditch the overwhelm and start homeschooling in a way that is full of clarity and calm, I invite you to download my free Homeschool Reset at theorganizedhomeschool.com/reset. I'll leave the link down in the description box below. Let's get back to the video. The very last thing that I feel keeps us consistent and on track is the way that I plan my homeschool. Now, I do not plan out every single lesson for every single subject. I have tried that and it is just way too much. My brain just seeing everything in one place immediately makes me feel overwhelmed and stressed out. So what I like to do instead is I work in time blocks, and instead of writing the exact, say, chapter of the book that we're reading, because that never works out anyways, I just write reading. So let's have an example. I will show you guys like a photo of my timetable, but it's super basic. All I do is lay out the general structure of what we are doing at that particular time. An example for our morning time would be scripture, scripture memory, a hymn, picture study. I will not list out the artists that we are studying. I will not list out the exact hymn that we are going to listen to. I will not even list out how we are going to do that. And the reason why is because some days I want to make things really quick, and some days I might want to read 2 chapters of a book, whereas other days I might just get through a page. I just find that having everything planned out, but also being not as detailed as I could be, it allows me the freedom to homeschool on that particular day the way that I want to, without feeling like I am falling behind or not achieving anything. I feel like when you have like Monday, complete lesson 34, Tuesday, read pages 13 to 20. When you have things detailed that much, it's so easy and quick to start feeling like you're behind, because life gets in the way, and a lot of days you are not going to be able to tick off those exact things. Having a more open, basic, general timetable to follow is just the easiest way to keep things simple, but still organized and planned out. I know that our language arts lessons is always going to be the good and the beautiful. There's no reason I need to write that down. I also have my stack of books for our reading time that I keep in one specific folder. I just know over time, I know that I'm going to read Dot and the Kangaroo today. That's what I do in morning time each day. It's very easy and natural, and it keeps me very calm and focused on what we need to get done without the overwhelm. I really hope that you found this video helpful, but if you would like a step-by-step plan to achieving consistency and routine in your own homeschool, I would love to invite you to join my Homeschool Kickstart. Inside the program, I walk you through step-by-step exactly how to achieve consistency in your homeschool, so that in just 1 week's time, you will have the calm, clarity, and confidence that you desire to homeschool in a way that is best for your family. You can check that out at theorganizedhomeschool.com/HKP. I will leave the link in the description box below as well. Don't forget to subscribe, leave me a comment down below. Leave me a heart, actually. If you guys got this far, leave me a heart down there, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.